everybody. Thank you for watching the video. As you see, it's my deadlift training from December 3rd of 2017, and actually my last official deadlift training for the WMPS Sergeant Gray Powerlifting Championships in Bordentown, New Jersey on December 10th of 2017, and 7 days out now. Just hit the actually beginning of a new training cycle for this particular day. And it was definitely needed because the previous week on what I did, the 2 weeks prior to what I did, like in the last video, I did a 622 for 4. That was my top set for the training cycle for this competition. But actually after that, I pulled a double with 700 off of these mats that are like kind of simulating like blocks, but they're actually a little lower. So, and the reason why I did that was to emulate trying to pull in with a deadlift bar and not having the same give. So kind of getting an idea, kind of giving a range of where I am in regards to pulling with a deadlift bar, as well as on that Saturday, actually 3 days after that, pulled a 675 beltless. And that's the heaviest I ever went without a belt. Was pretty fried from my CNS, but that particular lift was definitely needed. Because one thing I found for me personally is that when I feel like I'm at a low point in my life, or I feel like there's something that's happened to me that makes me feel so low, my immediate response is to always channel my anger, my pain, and my frustration into what I do. And based on experience and based on my past and doing so, the result has been the same every single time. And that's been, I channel that anger and that frustration into what I do, which is this, and it benefits me. Because I think that's one thing a lot of people struggle with in life, is that when you are at a down point, what do you resort to? A lot of people will give into things that they feel is an easy out to fill that void. Drugs, alcohol, where you develop addiction to things that can turn your life around for the worst. And the hardest thing to do is to be able to channel all that emotion into something that benefits you. I've always been the type of person that whenever I get to that point, my initial reaction is just to work harder. And, have I been guilty of resorting to those things in the past in my life? Yes, I have. But I found that every single time I did that, it was the easy way out, and it didn't benefit me. I think anybody who is on a path to wanting to be successful, that's one of the biggest challenges you have to face, is when you fail or when you feel like you are at a low point, how do you react? What is your response? What do you do when you are at that point? Do you resort to something that's not going to benefit you to fill that void? Or do you channel that exact emotion into what you're doing to benefit you and put you, instead of 1 step ahead, 2 steps ahead? And I found that whenever I channel my emotions into what I'm doing, it's put me a step ahead every single time. And yes, that, pulling that beltless deadlift was not smart because I was 2 weeks away from competition, but I found for me that channeling it the right way benefited me because I hit a PR. And it made me feel a lot better because I channeled it the right way, and I felt a lot better about myself because I filled the void the right way. And that is a concept that is not easy for everybody to grasp, and it's something that you may not be able to figure out right away. But it's funny because with this sport, it's 90% mental, and I found that with this sport, it's made me very self-disciplined in regards to my mentality and how I am mentally driven, mentally focused on what I want. And I feel that it's made it easier when I resort to feeling those type of things, feeling anger, pain, frustration. It's been easier to be able to deal with those things and be dealt with in a more efficient way to benefit me, rather than taking it out on somebody else, filling the void with things that will not benefit me in the long run, in the long term, and actually using it to my advantage. And I'm the type of person that I am very competitive, and I will do whatever it takes to win. I will go farther than anybody else will to get what I want. And one thing I found was if I was on level 5, use my anger and my pain, and it puts me at level 10. It puts me mentally somewhere that I am not at often, only in those times that it's benefited me immensely. And I think that, it doesn't matter if you are working out or if, you are an artist. If you're ever in a point where you are so mad, if something really hurts you, something that pains you so much, fill the void by doing what you love to do. Fill the void by doing what you work on every single day. Fill the void by using it towards something you're trying to achieve. And I guarantee you, every single time you do that, you'll feel better about yourself. And you'll see that you put yourself one step closer towards what you want. I can tell you right now, a week ago, if I made a video, you would have seen pain, anger, and frustration in my eyes. But even though I felt like I was at a low point, I still did what I had to do, and I still never broke towards what I wanted. And in that moment, and at that time, I realized that the one thing I always preach I'm not doing is channel that into what you do. It made me work harder. It made me want to push harder. It made me want to drive harder. It made me, it were not made me, it reminded me on the level that I want to be at to get myself to where I want to be. And I've had other experiences in my life that made me feel very low. And as weird as it may sound, I'm happy I went through those things. Why? Because every single time that I felt angry and I felt pain and I felt frustration, my response was, I just want to bust my ass. And it's helped me every single time. And I'm glad of that those moments happen, because one thing I realized for me is that those situations in life reminded me, or not even reminded me, it molded me into who I am today. And that is somebody that is determined and will go above and beyond for what they want, regardless of what obstacle they have to go through. Even if it means that they have to go through the pain, go through the suffering to get what they want, I will do it. And those things molded me into that kind of individual. Because the thing is that a prime example would be when I finally get that 700 pounds. Prior before, I fell on that lift twice. But here's the thing. A, how would I know if I would have got that lift if I never tried it? And B, how would I know what to correct or what to do to fix what I had to do to get that if I never failed at it? Life is not a perfect straight line. The answer is not always in front of you. You have to go find it. Just like get to go find what you want. And nobody's going to lift 700 pounds for me. I have to do that. at the same time, I had to go find that. I had to go find my way with me and what I had to do in order to achieve those things and accomplish those milestones. And along the way, fight the obstacles, fight the pain, fight the anger, frustration, things that may be going on inside of my life that could affect those things. Tackle that, but also make sure to stay mentally disciplined to continue to stay on the path, continue to make the right choices, and stay consistent with what I do. And doing so is what made me be able to channel that anger, that emotion to what I do and be able to fight it and not let it break me. It's not easy. It's never been easy, and I can tell you right now, even though I knew what to do, it doesn't mean it was a walk in the park. And like I said, again, for me, it was a wake up call, and it was a reminder that, you know what, who I am, what I believe in, what I like to do, and who I want to become. No matter what, always push yourself for what you want. And don't let anything or anybody in your life stop you from that. Like I said, life is up and down. We go through highs and lows. But there are times in our life where we will fall. And sometimes you can be at the pinnacle of where you are on the path to success, and you can fall. And the thing is that it gets frustrating because you can think here, why is this happening to me? Why is it that I'm on this path and I've been doing everything correctly, everything to the best of my abilities, and then I fall flat on my face? You probably ask yourself out of frustration, why? And the one thing I realize is this. The reason why we fall is because so we can pick ourselves back up. Obviously, growing up, you have a parents, and eventually you get to a point where you're old enough to move out of the house, and your parents are not going to be there no more. And along the way, there's going to be things in life that you wish your parents could help you out with, or wish you had your parents there for, but you have to figure it out on your own. And we all fail at things. At the same time, we all could be on the right path, and then we can hit rock bottom. But the one thing you have to do in those times where you feel like you are at your lowest point is to channel that pain and anger into what you're doing, so that way you can rise and pick yourself back up and get to where you want to be. I'm really, really a believer in consistency, always making the right choice, and never giving up. And I think that I can say confidently with many things that happen in my life, holding those three core values has always brought the end result of what I wanted. And regardless of what's going on in my life, regardless of what has happened, I never lost sight of what I wanted. And I never will. And no matter what, like I said, always believe in yourself and always fight for what you want and never give up on it. We all suffer through pain. We all have anger. We all go through frustration in life. But no matter what, don't ever let any of that stop you from what you want. Don't ever let any of that take you off your path. And don't ever let any of those things stop you from believing in yourself. 7 days out. My next video will be a recap of the competition and a recap of the year. As always, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching the video, supporting, and just seeing my path along this road with powerlifting and where I'm going. And my goal, I don't have an end result. I don't have like a limit that I want to see, because I don't believe I have a limit on myself. My goal every single time is to beat myself. I believe that if you can beat yourself, then nobody can beat you, because your only hardest and biggest competition is you. You shouldn't have to worry about the next individual. You shouldn't have to worry about those you're competing around. It doesn't matter. The person you are competing with every single day is you. And if you can beat that person, the person that you see in the mirror every day, if you can beat that individual, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that. If you have any questions, please, I'll put my email in the description. Please contact me. Training, powerlifting, bodybuilding, general questions, you're more than welcome to ask. Thank you guys for always watching the video. Like I said, next video, 7 days out, will be the recap of the competition and the recap of the year. As always, let's keep encouraging each other, let's keep fighting, and most importantly, believe in yourself. Thank you, and watch the video, and take care.